All right, folks. Week 5 is almost in the books. We have a great game tonight with the Bills and the Patriots. I will take the Patriots to cover the 8 points, but the Bills to win. And Drake May's been pretty good this year, especially when you look at the advanced stats. So I look for the Patriots to keep it close, but the Bills to ultimately win this game. And then tomorrow night, a huge AFC game between the Jaguars and the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs will win and cover the 3.5 points on that one, but we'll see what happens. But kind of a wild day of football today, and I thought there were several teams that really surprised me. You look at the Commanders here late in the day, the way they handled the Chargers. You look at the Broncos and what they did at Philadelphia today. A lot of really impressive wins. A lot to talk about, but I'm not going to get to it all. But we'll start with the Ravens. Right now, the Ravens have the worst defense in the NFL, and that was an absolute pathetic showing today at home versus a C.J. Stroud, who I thought has struggled all year long. They gave up 41 points and 4 touchdowns to a quarterback who I thought was a bottom 10 quarterback coming into this game. And if you look through 5 games this season, the Ravens have given up 13 touchdowns to opposing quarterbacks and only have 1 interception. And that 1 interception was against Joe Flacco, who's already been benched. This team has got to figure it out, and they have got to figure it out fast. I think Lamar is going to be out again next week versus the Rams. I think they'll lose that if they don't have Lamar. The good news for them is they have a very easy schedule here the last 12 games of the season. Probably one of the easier schedules in the entire NFL, and I don't think that division is particularly strong, especially with Joe Burrow out right now. But the Ravens, they have a lot to figure out in a short amount of time to do it, because 1-4 is quite the hole to dig yourself. Number 2, the Broncos. I thought this was the most impressive win of the day. Not only going to Philadelphia and winning, but holding the Eagles to 45 yards rushing. Going against Saquon Barkley and that offensive line, and a team that's really struggled, surprisingly, really struggling to run the ball right now. But to give up 45 yards rushing versus that team, hold them to 17 points. I thought this was probably the biggest win the Broncos have had in about a decade, enormous win. And I thought the Chargers were kind of the team to beat in the AFC after the first couple weeks. But now that they lost those 2 offensive linemen, they're down there to right tackle and left tackle. They gave up 6 sacks today. Horrendous showing for the Chargers today. They were all over Justin Herbert all day long. He was trying to carry that team, but they couldn't do anything versus the Commanders. I think now it might be the Broncos in the AFC West, the team to challenge the Chiefs to win that division. The Broncos looked extremely impressive. I thought there was a really shaky call there at the end of the game where the Broncos should have been called for an intentional grounding. Tony Romo was talking about it for about 15 minutes after the play happened, but it wasn't called, and the Broncos go down and they win the game. And right now they're sitting at 3-2. If the Chiefs win tomorrow night, they'll be 3-2, and the Chargers are 3-2. So it's going to be kind of an interesting AFC West matchup here this year. Number 3. Baker versus Sam Darnold today. 2 quarterbacks that's really hard to believe 3 years ago were completely forgotten. And this was an outstanding game. This was so much fun to watch. And these 2 quarterbacks, both of them were awesome today. Darnold had a play towards the end of the game to take a lead where I don't know how he got out of the sack, but he did and found a wide open rookie receiver for a touchdown. If you look at these 2 quarterbacks today, 720 yards and 6 touchdowns between the 2 of them. And I thought both were excellent all day. I've been saying it for the whole year. I think Baker Mayfield is the MVP of the season right now. If the season ended today, I think he should win the award, and I think the Bucs are a top 2 team in the NFC right now. I don't see a lot of teams that look better than them. They lost the Eagles last week in a game they very easily could have won, but right now they are rolling, and right now they have 4 wins by a combined 9 points. But it seems like Baker Mayfield is just not afraid of any situation at the end of the game. When he has the ball in his hands, I just feel like they're going to win the game. Number 4, the Colts roll again. They are now 4-1, and I think it's time we start to take this team really seriously. They absolutely hammered the Raiders today, and Jonathan Taylor, 3 touchdowns. This team can play excellent defense. They can run the ball, and Indiana Jones is a lot better than people think. I've been saying it all year. I think he is going to win the Comeback Player of the Year award. He's solid today, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, and I just think this team is really well coached. And I don't know if they're particularly great at any position outside of running back, but they're above average almost everywhere. And I don't think they can win the Super Bowl, but I definitely think they can go to the playoffs and win a playoff game. And number 5, there were 3 absolutely embarrassing losses today. And I'm trying to rank the 3. I'm going to start with number 3, the Cardinals. This is a game that they absolutely had to try to lose. They were up 21-7. They have a walk-in touchdown. The running back drops the ball before he goes in the end zone. We've seen this happen time and time again. I don't know why this keeps happening. Later in the game, they pick off Ward. They fumble the ball into the end zone, and the Titans land on it for a touchdown. And this is a game they absolutely had to try to lose, and they found a way to do it. And I think it's unbelievable that they lost game. Number 2, the Giants lose to the winless Saints. The Saints were the team that I thought were the worst team in the NFL, and they beat the Giants by double digits today with one offensive touchdown, and that is absolutely humiliating. I thought Jackson Dart looked really shaky today. He had a couple turnovers and just really couldn't get a lot done against a terrible Saints team. And number 1, the Dolphins. It is time for Mike McDaniel to go. To lose to the Panthers is absolutely unacceptable, especially the way they did it today. They gave up 239 yards rushing. How they gave up 239 yards rushing versus one of the worst teams in the NFL is beyond me. They had the worst and most embarrassing loss in the season, week 1, and then to lose at the Carolina Panthers today. I do not see how he is the coach a week from now. I think they've got to move on, and they've got to do it today, and we'll see what happens on Monday morning. So we'll see what happens tonight between the Bills and the Patriots. Again, I'm going to take the Patriots to cover the 8 points tonight, but lose the game, and tomorrow I'm going to take the Chiefs minus 3.5 to win and cover. But we'll talk to everyone Wednesday night.